Welcome back to MMP. I'm Blake. I'm here with my co-host, just Josh.
Yep. I don't know why you gotta say it like that, but
Yeah, I did say that in a weird way. I should have
yeah,
said, it's Blake, and I'm here with just one of my co-hosts, Josh.
exactly,
Would have
exactly. The
been
just shouldn't be against my name.
right. No, I agree
Yeah,
that it should not.
yeah,
Just needed a few words in between it before Josh.
exactly,
That's on
exactly.
me.
Now it
That's
is a
definitely me.
four-letter name we're against right now, but you know, yeah,
That'll happen. You'll have that.
it will.
Um, be honest. This is gonna be more of an open forum podcast episode for us
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
There's
One of the
there's
few
no
actual podcast episodes.
Right. There's no real agenda on the docket tonight. It's
Hmm.
solely just talking about movies, talking about some of the future movies coming out, and we'll
Hmm.
kind of just, see where our minds take us from there,
Yeah, it is a movie channel after all, so you know,
allegedly.
I think an easy way to start is to get this thing going about some future movies coming out. How are your thoughts on The Flash? After even the
Uh,
trailers come out, I think we've talked about it on the channel since the trailer actually got released.
I don't know if we did or not.
We texted a
Um,
lot.
we did text about it.
Hmm.
I don't care one bit. I'll be honest. I watched that trailer. I am I am not a CGI snob. Okay, I don't complain
Hmm.
about that with Marvel movies. It's not a big deal to me. The Flash trailer I saw during the Super Bowl was one of the few times in my life I was like, that looks terrible. Like terrible. Like there's a difference about like, oh, this whatever people love to complain about, like Marvel's the big one. People love to complain about like, oh, this looks weird, blah blah. It's like shut the hell up, okay? We're in the quantum realm for an entire movie. Shut up, dork. Yeah, there's some CGI. Get over it. Uh the Flash has been in post production for, let's see,
Years.
probably, we'll put it in this
Years.
context. If it was a child when it was, started post production where it is now, it's
Hmm.
not legal enough for anyone else to like it besides Ezra Miller, would be the only one interested in that thing.
Exactly. Hmm. Interesting
So it's
kidnapping
young.
too.
It's young, but it's definitely around like 4 years. Um,
Hmm.
but I just don't care about it. I'm so over it. It looked dog shit. Cool, Michael Keaton's back. That's great. Don't care. Also, what are we doing? Why does Ezra Miller have a part in this? Why do we keep trying to force feed other stuff into it? Like, oh, Jason Momoa's in it, Wonder Woman's in it. Wonder Woman showed up in
Hmm.
Shazam 2, which we showed that before Shazam 2 even came out. Henry
Hmm.
Cavill's in Black Adam before Black Adam even came out. We get it, you're
Hmm.
desperate. Shut up. Move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who cares?
Um, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it. That's my final. I'm gonna see it, and
Oh,
the
I
reason
get that.
being, it's I'm a DC whore, and I just think it's kind of funny. You know, why not give my dollar to an awful person? You know what I mean? Why not?
Right.
At least I know they're awful, so that's a benefit compared to other movies. As
Right.
well as I just think I want to know what happens. I think there's going to be enough DC cameo craziness in this film for me to actually somewhat enjoy it. So I think that alone is worth it. Also, just like I want to know why Warner Brothers thought this movie, man, was the hill to die on. Why this movie
I
in
think it's because of the money.
particular? Even you can't even say it about the money because other projects they've canceled are already in the
But
millions, bro.
okay, but there's a difference between 70 million, which is a reported what Batgirl was, and this is projected over 200 million.
I know, but like
That's a big
they could have
difference.
canceled it even before it got to those numbers,
True,
and they decided
true.
not to. So like it
Yeah,
was probably around when it got to the 100 mil where there was already controversy around this film about the
maybe.
universe,
Yeah.
not even before about Ezra, and then it came out about Ezra around probably when they got a little past the 100 mil. So I just got to see it for that reason. I just have to, and say what you want about it. I'm just gonna see it,
And why
and
are people lying about it? Why is James Gunn saying he saw it and it's like one of the best movies or something like that? James, why are we
yeah,
lying about it?
We don't gotta
We all
lie.
know it's not. We all know
Doesn't
it's
help your
not.
universe at all, really.
No.
Unless if it's
It
supposed
just
to, if it's going to be the whole Flashpoint and it just kills everybody, blah 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 blah. But I mean, like,
that's what I don't get.
you know,
Like, what are we
I
doing?
mean, I will say, I think the cool part, General Zod, is going to be in it, so that'll be cool. Just one part of it, I know I at least will enjoy seeing in the theaters.
How do you know though?
But from the trailer,
No,
there's
I'm
at
saying
least one part of it.
he just might zoom back in time, see General Zod, and be like, oh, zoom out of that.
Hey,
That's it.
and that split moment, there would be a crack of a smile. You know what I mean? A crack.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna be honest. This might be one that I just have to.
I can see it for
fully,
you.
I just
That'd
might
be
have to
really
fully embrace I'm not supporting this.
good.
You know what I mean? There's just certain movies you got to do that. Certain things you got to do it.
Yeah.
This might be one for me. I just don't care. I just don't get what they're doing, dude. Like, are you rebuilding the? Why are we still putting out stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Just stop with Shazam. Stop with Aquaman 2.
Which I skipped.
Stop
I
with the
skipped
Flash.
Shazam. I'll skip those, but I want to watch.
I think I'm skipping all of it. I skipped Shazam already. I mean, obviously it's still in theaters. Could go see it.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm not. Um. I don't know. We'll see when it gets closer. Maybe I won't skip the Flash. And I am an Aquaman whore, so I might end up seeing that. But I don't know. There's a good chance I skip out.
I mean, there's reports about that movie being abysmally bad already.
Well,
So
I mean, yeah, that's not a
yeah.
surprise. But
Yeah.
I love Aquaman
Yeah.
character.
All right. Let's see what other movies are coming out that we might see.
Mario's coming out. Nah, Mario.
No, we're
We
going
gotta
with
talk about
Barbie
that.
first. Now, we'll talk about Mario after. Let's talk about Barbie. Yeah, are you gonna
Okay.
fall for the bait and trap to watch Barbie? And now it's got Ryan Gosling for me, so that's already the hard bait that it might get me on.
Here's my thing. I don't feel any way about it. Like,
It's just I want to see it
Don't.
because I know it's a bait, and it's like, what's its motive here? Is this movie going to have some secret? Because, dude, even in the little snippets that we've seen of the movie so far, it's like referencing some amazing, great movies and copying the scenes, but in Barbie movie format. And I'm like, what is this movie? Why is this a thing?
That's my thing. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Is I'm like, is this like a secret A24 type feel where there's gonna be no point of this movie? It just has big enough stars that people are gonna go see it because like that trailer that just came out that they show in like the movie theaters, it doesn't give you anything. Which like in a sense I like that it's not giving you anything.
Yeah, but it could not be anything in general.
But at the same time, you can do that with certain things. But it's like a Barbie movie. It's like, what is this about? Like,
yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I don't have any feelings of it anyway. When it gets closer, maybe I'll go see it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like, no, I'm not seeing it, or I'm not gonna sit here and be like, definitely seeing it. Like, it's kind of like Oppenheimer. They both are supposed to come out the same weekend. I could care less that if I go see either one of those that weekend as of now.
I'd choose Barbie over it. I'll be honest.
I don't care. Which I get that. Like honestly, if you told me like that weekend, like like if it's over the summer and you're like, yo, let's go see a movie this weekend, I'm gonna go see Barbie over Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
But I'm not out here.
I just have more interest.
Excited.
Oppenheimer. I mean, like,
I don't care.
The more I learn about that film, the less I care about it. And I can't explain why. I can't even defend that reason why. But just for me, the more I learn about it, the more I just think that movie has a strong feel of it's just going to be some boring, just thinking it's such a smart over the top film. And I just
because of all the actors in it, like the acting is going to be phenomenal because every single person is an A-list Oscar winner. And it's like, that's cool, but I don't care to listen to them talk in a fucking boardroom for 80 minutes and then have like 2 minutes of a dope nuke scene. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just see the dope nuke scene on TikTok. And
right.
There you go. Like, actually, I might not be able to. I might get banned. Who knows? So maybe I got to go see it. Gosh. These fuckers. Okay. Mario. That's the one. That one is going to be a certified banger. Certified C opening weekend. Just for so many reasons why I would say I'd want to see that movie. Chris Pratt, just his Mario voice the entire film and his length of his voice acting skills, that that's got me already. Just all the Twitter videos of him saying, "Oh, that's not the voice. Don't worry about it." And then the trailer comes out and it's the same exact voice, and it's like, great for him. Great for him. And of course, then also the amazing other actors that are doing voice acting for this film. That it's going to be great. Plus, animation looks crisp. So
I'll say this as a non-animation guy, I do think the animation in this looks really good. Which would be why I would go see it, is because I feel like maybe it's worth seeing in theaters for the animation. As of now, I'm kind of on the fence about like I don't really care. I just like, what are we doing? There's voice actors out there. Like there's actual people who are voice actors who are good at that.
mm-hmm.
First off, a star-studded cast in an animated movie just seems like a waste of money to me, because you had to pay these people the bag. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you paying these people to bag for? If you don't actually see them and have them performing the actual things to, pay them for their talents.
Yeah.
Because for them, it's just reading off a sheet is what it is. For actual voice actors, now you're actually getting them acting and actually changing, doing things. But for these people, it's like reading off a piece of paper and like, cool, give me a cool, like, 10 mil for this. It's like, for what?
Yeah. Which, hey, I fully agree. I'm normally always on that page for that. But I think this one, it has now that meme element to it,
Oh,
like
I agree.
the first Sonic movie that came out, because, you had ugly Sonic, and then we bullied them into fixing it, and that's why I saw the first Sonic. So there's that element to that, because, Jack Black as Bowser, that alone is just kind of funny and goofy to me. So that,
see, like, I'm okay with that,
because
Jack Black, we've seen Kung Fu Panda. We know Jack Black
yes,
is...
I know.
He's magic on the
also
mic.
the rest of the cast, yeah. It's just, I'd say for this one movie, I am willing to give it the pass, just because just already alone, Mario's Chris Pratt is so stupid that it's funny.
Yeah.
You gotta see
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. That it is just...
Yeah.
It's just wild to me. It's like, what are we doing? Also, you're making a Mario movie. We need a lot more people with the last name ending in a vowel to be on that cast sheet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just kind of, what are we doing? Need a lot more vowels to end off those last names.
That's valid. That's valid for that. Let's see, what else is there out there that we might have some interest in.
I gotta mention John Wick 4. I gotta mention it, even though it's already out now. It's not getting banger reviews.
Yeah.
I gotta see that one. Gotta go see it soon. Probably by the time this video comes out, I'll see it.
I'll eventually see it. I just gotta watch all the other ones.
I feel like this one you actually might have to watch at least the third one. From what I've kind of heard a little bit, I think this one does have a little bit more story element. You kind of need to see at least the third to understand it more.
Well, I've already seen the first. I just have to see the second and third. And I remember the first well enough to like...
The first you can skip out on. Like storyline-wise, you can skip out on the first. Because the second one is when we really start to understand like the world of John Wick and the deeper stuff. And then the third goes into it, and I think this one goes more into it. The first was kind of just like, yo, dope action scenes, here we go. And then these ones have a little bit more storyline. But I had to throw in John Wick in here to mention.
Yeah, that's valid, Understandable. What else is there? We talked about earlier, Indiana Jones, that new one that you got no interest in. For me, it's gonna, if I could easily see, on my day off, one of them, if I have a chance to go to the movies, I would give it a chance to see it. Now, if I miss the opportunity to overcome that laziness to go to the movie theater to see it, odds of me ever watching it drastically go down. That is an only theater movie. I would never watch it outside the theater.
No, here's the thing. You will. There'll be a time where you're just chilling, like, oh, we should watch a movie, and then you're on Disney Plus because Disney probably owns it. You're like, oh, Indiana Jones 17? I guess. Let's just turn it on.
No, I don't really do that. I judge really hard about the movies I pull on, especially with streaming services. There's got to be a reason to it, not just that I'll just watch it.
What's the best streaming service?
Best streaming service?
There's only one right answer, just so you know. This isn't like an opinion thing. This is a factual statement.
A factual statement.
This is a
I
fact. There
mean,
is a right answer.
in terms of from like content, I was able to enjoy. I like HBO Max.
That
HBO
is the
Max is
only
my
answer.
best
Yep.
one.
That's
Yeah,
the correct
just
answer.
because
HBO's the best one.
it has even some TV shows to it as well. Like I was able to watch like Rick and Morty on there as well as there's other shows too. So
They have banger movies on HBO.
yeah, banger
Which
movies
is
as
why,
well as the shows is great too.
yeah, I mean, if it had The Boys, it would be a no contest, I'll be honest. If HBO had The Boys, it would be like, if you don't say HBO, you're an idiot. And
Hmm.
it's not like Amazon Prime's up there. Like, all they have to me is The Boys. Like, obviously, they have other stuff, but I'm just saying, like, if
Yeah,
HBO, they'd become too overpowered.
yeah. I think HBO Max definitely. I mean, even for my love of Game of Thrones and then now House of Dragon, that right there is worth it. Even though I have a bad issue of never rewatching shows, so never see it again. But
It's, would they have so many seasons? It's tough to rewatch a whole series,
no,
you know
I
what I
don't
mean?
know. I'm just like for some reason I could rewatch a movie countless of times, but a TV show, I have issues rewatching a TV show. I don't think it. I legit can't think of an actual TV series where I've genuinely rewatched it. Like if there's an episode on TV or something like that, back in the
Right.
day, that's different. But I mean, like genuinely, like when I finished Friends, that's the last time I've ever touched Friends ever again. When I finished The Office, that's the last time I've ever touched The Office. New Girl, even with New Girl, that's probably. Um, Actually, I'm a hypocrite. No, New Girl I have watched, but I mean it's a little different. I had a back surgery. I was
Yeah.
dying of boredom. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. It was a
Okay.
special occasion. I was bored. Um, and then finishing shows. I struggle finishing shows because that like show depression it hits me way too hard. So when I know I have a bad, I have to stop myself from knowing how many seasons and episodes there are because once I know that, I'll remember that, and if I know I get closer, the less and less consistent I watch the show.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bad issue. I have not finished New Girl, and that's my favorite TV show for like comedy wise. Just haven't finished
For
it.
now.
Yeah, the
Speaking of
back
TV
surgery fails
shows,
again.
did you see there's set photos from The Boys 4, season 4?
I tried to avoid it as much as I could because, I mean, I don't know, there's already way too much info that came out about
Yeah.
contracts for actors. So then it's like, okay, cool. That means most likely they're gonna die for sure. So it's like, great, big spoiler there. That's fun. Because people are just losers and just some reason want to know everything about something before it comes out.
Right.
Don't get why. But so yes, I've seen it. It looks cool. Of course, I'm excited.
Right.
But
Yeah, I
tried
was
to
just more
avoid it.
excited. I mean, it's not like he gave away. It was literally Jeffrey Dean was on set, and I
Yep.
was just like,
Fire
dope.
edition.
I'm just happy
Casting
that they're
for
starting
them.
to film. That's all I care about. They're starting to film. That just
Yeah.
means we're a
Yeah.
step closer to getting season 4.
Yeah.
That's all I really care
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. It felt like, you know what? I said it felt like season 2 took forever to come out, and it really actually wasn't as bad as compared to just like season 2 to season 3. But for some reason, I remember like when I watched the first season, and I remember being at work, I told buddies to watch The Boys, and they watched it. And then it felt like there's no news of season 2 at all. And then randomly Amazon was like, season 2 is finally coming. And then, but I felt like almost years went by, but it really wasn't. I think it was like a year and a half, if that. Yeah. So that's how much I loved the first season.
Oh yeah, for me it was just like season 3 was coming out in what, like 2 months or 3 months before, and you guys were like, "Oh, it's a dope show. You should watch it." And I was like, "Okay, sure." And then
I
I
forgot.
binged
Yeah,
like,
we did tell you too.
yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
then I binged like the first 2 seasons in like the matter of like a week and a half or so. And I was like, "This is one of the greatest shows ever." And then I had to wait like a month
Mm-hmm.
for season 3.
Yeah. Which
And then listen, I hate the one episode a week bullshit, okay? I'm
mm-hmm.
impatient. If I want to binge your shit, let me binge it. Let me pay the price.
Mm-hmm.
Don't treat me like some addict who's like, "Oh, I'll give you a little bit," and then I have to go to the withdrawal syndrome for 6 days. That's garbage.
I would have to say the only reason why I do like it is it definitely helps like talking with others about the
Yeah,
show because you don't
yeah, I
have to
agree.
know. And so like I'm watching The Mandalorian right now, and it does the one a week, and it helps because Star Wars loves the random cameos of like, oh, who is that? Do you remember who that is? And then you talk about it, and so that definitely helps. But I do miss the days where Netflix was the prime one, and you just got the whole season, and you just raced to finish it to beat spoilers, as well as it was just nice. I remember The Witcher. The Witcher was fire on Netflix, and speaking of which, that show is going to the shit now because Henry Cavill's leaving it, as well as it was deterring away from the plot of that whole series as a whole, anyways. So I wonder how they're going to continue that one.
13 Reasons Why is another one that I remember when I first saw that on Netflix.
As a core classic.
Sure. I was like, oh, I'll give
Core
this
memory.
a shot. And then I stayed up till like 4 a.m. watching like the first 5 episodes or something. And I was like, this is a peak moment right here, just binging this show.
It is. Peak also traumatizing moments that I'll forever remember.
Yeah.
You know? I'm glad I'm a part of that community, you know? As well as like remembering Harambe. It's like one of those moments, you know? You remembered Hannah dying and also the broom scene in the second season.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Yep.
That lives with you. That lives with you.
Which I got to ask you, you know, do you feel like, I don't know, for me,
I wouldn't
feel
like
they're
it.
just, well,
go ahead.
Would you try it?
I will say if I was on one side of the broomstick, yes. If I was on the other side, no. But not the way you
don't. Hey, wait! Don't tell me which one. Okay, no. My main question was, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like there just aren't shows that like capture everyone that like it feels like everyone's talking about like that anymore. I don't know if you feel like that, but I do. Where like,
what do you mean by that?
Like, okay, like you remember going to school and then everyone was talking about, you know, 13 Reasons Why. That was a big one that everyone was talking about. They were watching. Or you would go to even work after, you know, high school days and everyone is talking about a certain show.
Right.
You know?
I think there are, but because we're not in that kind of school setting anymore, we don't know it.
I guess. I just feel like the last one where I truly felt like that was until like House of the Dragons came out, where I knew there were so many people like really talking about it. And I felt like I could almost go to anybody and be like, have you seen the show? And they'd say yes, because so many have. But other than that, since then, I really haven't felt like that.
I mean, yeah, I kind of see what you mean, because even like Game of Thrones, and like I never watched Game of Thrones. I haven't watched Game of Thrones. But like even that I knew about. Like everybody was hyped for that on like Sunday nights. Like everybody, like adults and like in our high school and stuff like that, like people would talk about it. So like I get that in a sense, but I feel like maybe part of it that we don't know about is because we're not in that, like we're not in high school anymore to know about, like maybe
I think
people
it's
are
the downfall
like
of Netflix.
Outer Banks. Maybe like people are like that with like Outer Banks.
Maybe that is one I did avoid. Stranger Things is true. That is a true point. Stranger Things is popular enough though when it drops. I think it's just the Netflix effect. Like when Netflix, I miss the consistent Netflix bangers, you know? They drop some crazy good show, you know, everybody's almost watching it because so many people have Netflix accounts.
Well, I don't know. I kind of feel like The Last of Us was kind of like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that one had a lot of people talking about it.
Have you seen that?
No, haven't watched it. Will I get around to it? Probably not.
I don't think I will, because I'm gonna be honest. There's plenty of moments that I've seen on TikTok where I'm like, how is the game having better acting in these scenes right now?
What do you mean by that? Dig deeper.
Like, even for Pedro Pascal, there's some scenes where I'm like, how are you getting out? Like, I know he's a great actor, and in everything I've watched, he's been phenomenal in. But I'm like, in this, it's like, you're just not having any of that oomph, and it just feels dry and flat, and it makes that whole impactful scene just feel awful. And I'm like, okay, I don't feel bothered to watch it.
Right.
Because there's one part of it where it leads to like this finale where it's such a big pinnacle point, which makes a big deal for season 2 when they do it. And I've seen clips of it and it just seems so flat. I'm like, I just know if I watch this whole thing, I'd be so annoyed that they just failed in that big finale. So I just got to turn.
I don't know why, I've just never cared at all about zombie type stuff. Like I just don't. That content just doesn't. Like The Walking Dead, that was one everybody loved. I watched like half of the first season and I was like, okay, done. Don't care anymore. Like
Yeah. Well,
it's
for
like
Walking Dead, it definitely was. Walking Dead suffered from one of those shows where it's like you have to make it past first season for it to actually be good. Like it gets much better past that one.
right.
Um, but also like that's understandable because at some point they kind of lose the zombie element in those shows, and then it's like okay, then it just becomes regurgitated stuff, and then it gets
Yeah.
boring. Which The Walking Dead happened until they had that big scene where a lot of people died from a bat.
Yeah,
But
the old barbed wire bat will get you every now and then. I've seen
yeah,
that before on TikTok.
yeah. So you're valid for
Um,
that.
I just don't care about that content. So like The Last of Us, everyone's like, oh, it's so good. I'm like, oh, I don't care.
The
I'm also
games were
just not.
great,
I'm just not a big
but
TV. Like there's a lot of TV shows out there that I want to watch at some point.
hmm
But like TV shows to me are one that I'm like, I don't care for the most part. Like Severance is one that I've heard on Apple is pretty good. Like Ted
yeah,
Lasso,
heard plenty of those.
that's one that I want to watch.
Ted Lasso is great, but only the first season. Like I think you would like, and I'm just kind of watching it because I'm just committed to boredom. And their
Right.
third
Well,
season's been
yeah.
okay. The first season's probably like the most wholesome TV show I've ever watched of all time. But yeah,
The only TV show that I care about is Castle.
Castle. I mean, that's a
I
great
just
TV show.
I just want to watch Castle so
I
bad.
loved it. Also has a nice like plot that they come back to, with Kate Beckett. I think that's her name, right?
They have several
Yeah.
like good plots in it that are like
Mm-hmm.
a big moment and then like it's done and then it
Yeah.
comes back and then some of them like get
Yeah.
wrapped up. And
Yeah.
it's like
Also, how long the actors actually stay on the show. Like even the kid, Castle's kid, like she
yeah,
stays in it and she
Alexis.
becomes actually a pretty decent character. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
just love
I love
Castle.
that show. It was great.
Just want to watch it more. Can't wait for summer where I can actually watch it like every night.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't know. I'm almost that way with TV shows, but like then there's some like I mean like Game of Thrones has had me hooked when I finally got to it, but it took me like years and years. And they can tell literally season 6. Actually, season 7, I think. Even after season 7, that's when I finally watched it. And then, the new season. I don't remember what season was, but then I binged it all in like a week. What other? I love Rick and Morty, even though the fan base is cringe. Fucking love it for some reason. I really do. It has, dude. And I'm a sucker for when they like add like actual like plot lore stories to it, and then they'll like make fun of you for actually liking their plot lore stories, and so they'll start the episode saying, "Fine, fans, you're gonna get what you fucking want," and I'm like, "Thank you for giving me that." You
Thank
know?
you.
Yeah, yeah. So tough one with that though, because the one of the co-creators
Oh,
for
yeah,
that,
I believe so.
yeah. But hey, we found out actually it came out that he stopped writing for it like almost 2 or 3 seasons ago, and he was just doing voice acting, which voice acting's replaceable. So, and also
Yeah.
I'd like to point out, I mean, the show's gotten better as time's gone on. So I mean, kind of crazy when a fucking creep like that and the show gets better when he stops actually being a part of it. But
Why is Hollywood so weird? What's
you know
that
what's
about?
weird? You know what's weird about it? There's literally a character that he is a part of that embodies everything that he did. And like everyone talks about like that scene was uncomfortable and that character was
Somebody
awful.
somebody should have looked into that maybe.
Yeah. And it's
Like we said,
yeah.
there's signs that, we need to start
Yeah.
looking into signs a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you see the messages that he was going in DMs?
I
Yeah,
literally just heard that. I just saw like a
no.
thing a while ago that
So
was
he
like
had
Rick and
he
Morty
had two
creator
things.
in trouble.
He had a court he was battling something in court and he ended up like winning for that one. And then it also came out all these DMs at the same time that was happening. And one of the DMs I remember being so bad was like he was talking to like a 13-year-old and he was like, "Oh, you're such hot jailbait." I'm like, what the fuck?
I just like why?
While at peak of Rick and Morty, when he's
What are we
involved,
doing?
right? Like he is the richest probably animator at this point, because Rick and Morty, he literally had such an impact that McDonald's brought a sauce back because of the show. You know what I mean? Like you fucking made it, bro, and you're being that much of a dipshit loser that you still
It's
can't
just
get bitches, and you're going after underage girls, bro. Like damn, god
I just
damn,
don't get it. Like, what are we doing?
yeah. It's like the Minecraft YouTubers, you know? Like when there was the height of Minecraft, and then we find out 3 years later, like all of them were DMing young fans. It's
For what?
wild.
For what purpose? What are we doing?
For real. Like you're telling me you're that like making that much bank and you can't just get someone your age? You're that down bad? Come on.
You're just that. I don't get it. What
Yeah.
are we doing?
What are we doing? For real. You know? But also, I mean, it makes sense if you think about it, you know? Listen, hear me out though. Just think though, like even when we think about how NFL athletes, right? How can they be so stupid? Think about your jocks that were playing football and they weren't even the top guys that were going to make it, right? So it just makes sense. Just add that, but if they had actual talent, same personalities, add the talent, just makes sense. Now then you add the people that were doing theater kids. You remember theater kids, how theater kids were. Those are the guys that are making movies, writing movies, making shows, directing shows. You know, it makes sense that there's some of them, a good majority of them, that are just, they're weird, creepy. Just saying. It makes sense. You're going to tell me I'm wrong?
I'm not going to comment on the matter.
Why?
I mean, here's the thing, right?
Hmm?
It's like, why is it so prevalent with these people? Like, what is going on with you that you are just like in this area with all these other people that are like big
Mm-hmm.
and like in the same field as you that you can talk to and meet, and you're just like children? Like, what? How? Why? What is so? I
I
don't
don't
even
know.
know how to word. Like, what is? How can it be so common and prevalent? And you know what I mean? Like, it just makes no sense to me. We hear this stuff all the time come out, and it's like, it's just I don't. It makes no sense. Like, you would think that you're in an area surrounded by other people with similar thoughts as you, in terms of
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, there's so many people out there that are like animators or VX artists. You can meet those people. You can be friends with those people.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good chance you can have some kind of relationship with somebody like that.
Exactly.
It's like I don't get it.
I don't know.
You know, two actors can bond over being actors. Two
Exactly.
voice
I mean, half
actors,
the time they
two
fall in love with
creators.
their fake love scenes, anyways. You know.
That's what I'm saying. Like we see
Mm-hmm.
that all the time, and it's just I
Yep.
don't understand why it's so common.
Don't know either.
Which that's a weird thing that happens too.
Mm.
Like actors that are like, oh, on like Spider-Man. Hey, if you're really down bad and can't get a girl,
Yeah.
become Spider-Man
I always thought about
because
that.
you'll see it. You'll get whoever they cast as your female counterpart, whether it's an MJ or a uh, what's her face? What's her Gwen Stacy? There it
Gwen.
is, Gwen
Yeah.
Stacy. Whoever the counterpart is, you guys will end up in a relationship.
Yeah. You know what I've thought about it? I've thought about like the perspective of if I was an actor, right? And I was dating someone else that wasn't like an actress, right? And they were doing like one of those movies or shows. You know, what's going through your mind? You know what I mean? It's like you're getting that close and personal with someone. Yes, it's your job, but also I'm like the numbers, you know? The numbers don't lie,
Numbers don't
you
lie.
know? And then I think about my boy Robert Pattinson in Twilight and how Kristen Stewart did my boy so bad, so bad. I mean, there's clips. Listen, this always is in my head. I don't know why. because I have that weird love for Twilight. Um, but there's clips when like she was like they were accepting an award for Twilight, and he goes to grab her hand, and she dodges the hand and sits next to what's
Taylor
his name?
Lautner.
Can't think of it. Yeah, Taylor Lautner. And then it's like there's already the rumors of them back in the day with that weird love triangle, and then it's literally in the movie, the love triangle, and then on top of that, the official cheating, like actual who she cheated on him with, wasn't even Taylor. That was always just rumors. It was some like ugly fuck older guy while they were dating. And I'm like, so Robert Pattinson, absolute comeback to become Batman. Shout out him, It just feels good.
Feels good.
It does.
It's just, and like even Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz, like they kind of had like you see their press
Yeah.
stuff and it was like getting a little weird. It's like,
Yeah. Which you know who
going on
she's
here?
dating, right?
Who she is? No, I know who he
Yeah.
is, but I don't know her.
Oh my fucking god! I literally just had his name in my head. Guy, 21 Jump Street, not Jonah Hill, other one.
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. They're dating.
Oh,
Channing Tatum.
that's right. Yep. Yeah. Now that
Yeah.
you say that, I do remember that.
Yeah. And like I found that out because on TikTok, I came across of it, and it was like, get you a man like Channing Tatum, and I looked at his following list, and he was following a bunch of Zoe fan accounts. And I was like, wait, are they dating? Because they don't really have posts with each other on either of their like socials. Right. It's like a
well, I mean, they're also old enough. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, I know.
Kids and shit. It's like they're old.
Yeah. So on one hand, it's like, yeah, like that would be so awkward seeing that as your significant other. But other time, like you're Channing Tatum. Like, dude, you literally have Magic Mike movies because you're that hot. You know what I mean? So he's vibing.
It's just, I don't know. There's because even like now I see a lot of stuff with like Emily Blunt and The Rock, and I'm like, it's like weird at times.
I mean, Emily Blunt is just weird in general at times, especially in like press stuff. She's weird.
I feel like it's more of The Rock is the one that I feel like I see more. Like there's just a whole thing about him like opening the door for her and like her leaving something, and I was just like,
well,
just
more and more is coming out that The Rock is just such a piece of shit. So,
well, I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying like in terms of like that, I was like, yo, you're married, you got kids. She's married, she's got kids. I was like, it's just kind of weird. I was like, I just feel like you're being a little too much here. No, but yeah, that's came out that The Rock is big surprise.
Zachary Levi. Is it Levi or is it Levy?
I say Levy.
Yeah, probably is Levy because he's
probably
white. So
it's probably Levi, for being honest, actually. But
I think it's Levy.
I mean, who would have thought the guy who has it in his movie contracts about he has to deliver more hits than anybody else and he has to win the fights? Who would have thought that guy is a fucking...
It was too much for Fast and Furious.
Big head.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Have you ever seen the Vin Diesel interview where he's like tipsy and he's flirting with the interviewer? There's such a funny voice line. He's like almost wasted, and he's like, "Talk to me, baby."
Vin?
Talking there, yeah, Vin.
I mean, that's not a surprise. He's a weird guy too. Yeah. He's a big head
he's
guy.
So goofy. He's like, man, you're so beautiful. And then at one point, he's like, "Talk to me, baby."
I think Justin Bieber has the best one of those. Him as like a little kid, like talking to an interviewer. And he makes her laugh. He's like, I like that laugh. And he's like a 13-year-old kid. It's like, dude. Bro, what are you doing?
I'll never forget that Justin Bieber is he's in Zoolander. I believe it's Zoolander. And he just gets fucking shot up like a billion times and dies. And it's so funny. Like, there's so many times where, like, I realize, like, Justin Bieber's been in funny projects where he realizes, like, it's him. People don't like him. Yeah. And then he just allows them to kill him. But he was even in a CIS show, or CSI. CIS is Star Wars. CSI show where he dies. He gets shot up like a billion times in a serious matter. It's not even a funny matter. He just comes in, he gets shot and killed. But so shout out to him for that, and also the fact that whole Selena Gomez drama. It's funny.
Yeah, I follow Selena Gomez now.
Do you?
Had to support. Yeah, had to support.
There's so many moments where, like, it's like, come on, Justin. You know what you're doing. Like, it's awful. It's just awful.
And his stupid wife. Like, no one cares about you, dude. Like, no one cares. You're not famous.
Listen, she has a right to be insecure because Justin just does not deny his love for Selena Gomez.
Listen,
So it's
but
like,
she is
imagine your
annoying.
husband. I know,
She's annoying.
I know, I know. But some of the insecurity is valid because your husband, I mean, he literally has a music video where there's snapshots of it, of him, like it's just being written out saying, like, miss you, Selena, miss you, Cell, and stuff like that. And it's like, that's while they were dating Haley. And I was like, it's rough.
I mean, what did he expect to happen? He was dating Selena, and then he ended up, didn't him and whatever her face are end up getting engaged or married like 2 months after their breakup? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you didn't
You
think
know
you
how
were
it
a
works.
rebound? You bozo?
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
You know how it works. Yeah.
No one cares about you, clown.
Yeah. I just like to point out this episode started with us talking about the Flash.
Yeah, fuck the Flash. Full circle. Fuck that Baldwin Bieber bitch. Fuck the Flash.
What
Your uncle
else are we
shot and
not
killed
fucking
somebody.
with?
No one cares about you.
Oh man, what else I don't think there's any other movies that are coming out where I'm just like, absolutely no.
Cocaine Bear 2. Can't wait for that.
For real, for real. They're making a Peter Pan movie. Fuck Disney, for real, for real.
Honestly.
Like so much
So
dog
over.
shit.
I feel like what did I hear? I thought I heard something about Peter Pan. I don't remember what it is.
It's probably something bad.
Probably.
Oh, and then that Little Mermaid movie is talking about Disney. I thought this movie was supposed to come out like years ago, and it still shocks me that it's supposed to actually come out now this year. I felt like the whole controversy was like so long ago.
That was just a teaser trailer, though. It was like a 2-second clip about it.
No, but a teaser. It had to be 2 years, right? At least 2 years.
I don't know. Isn't fucking
Was it one of those
Melmac
dumb like
Ursula?
I don't know. Wasn't it like one of those dumb ones where it's like COVID? Oh, COVID probably delayed the production of this movie, so blah blah blah. So it hasn't come out yet.
I think Melissa McCarthy's Ursula.
Interesting.
I could be wrong, but I think it
I
is.
mean, I didn't
In
care
which case, she'll
about
kill
the
it.
controversy. You know, whether they were white anyways, I wouldn't have watched it. But it's just
I might
kinda funny
watch
that I was
it.
like,
I might.
you might?
If it looks dope, like if it looks like
I just refuse. I hate the
from
live
a
action.
visual element, you know what I mean? I'm in.
I can't be bothered to watch the live action versions of Disney classics.
I agree. I honestly don't know if I've seen. I think I did watch The Lion King, but I didn't see it in theaters. What else have they done? Aladdin? Haven't seen that one.
Okay, I will say I did actually like Aladdin, but
Have they done anything else?
I watched Aladdin while I was on like a Disney cruise for the first time ever in my life. So there's definitely an influence of
Oh,
like,
okay.
well, big
That,
vacation,
yeah, that's
you know,
valid.
for once. So yeah,
Yo, what's with Snow White? I feel like they haven't touched that in forever.
I don't know, but their best one was it called Enchantment? That one,
Enchanted, I think.
Enchanted, was that it? Yeah, that one's a good one.
There's Ella Enchanted,
No,
and then there's Enchantment.
I don't know what it is. It's the one where like
Amy Adams or Rachel,
yeah,
one of those two. And then Ella Enchanted is Anne Hathaway. Oh, Anne Hathaway, bro. People put some respect on her name. You know what I mean? Anne Hathaway kills the game.
she was great. Interstellar.
She's great
It's
in
the last
everything
movie I
she does.
remember her being in.
Oh, Dark Knight Rises.
Well, the
don't know
last
what came
movie I
out
meant
first.
as in like watching.
Yeah, I don't remember which came out.
Really, you know, you got the classic, got Fast and Furious 10 that's coming out. That's gonna be goaded. They're gonna go crazy. Number 10.
Brie Larson and Jason Momoa added in.
Yeah, they're bringing everyone back in, bro, for that one because it also has the one bald dude. I never remember his name, but I always recognize him.
Jason Statham.
Probably. That's
John
probably his
Cena's
name.
back.
Sounds right. True.
Charlize Theron is back.
Yeah, because she's always in them.
I
I always
believe
forget that she is.
Kurt Russell, I think his character might be back. Mr. Nobody.
Yeah.
No, The Rock, I believe, though. I don't believe The Rock's
Oh
in it.
yeah, he won't ever be.
No, he
Yeah.
will. I believe in him.
You believe in him?
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, I
Bold.
believe in him coming back to a shitty franchise. He loves shitty franchises. That's his thing.
Hmm.
Except he never starts them. He doesn't start a shitty franchise. He just shows up at
Oh,
one point in them.
we didn't even talk about the one movie we should be talking about that's coming out eventually. Joker 2. That's a
There's good
musical.
reason. There's a good reason we haven't talked about it, Josh. Because, um, in the most simple terms, I don't fucking care. That's that's about it.
It's just
I'm not gonna
so
see it.
weird. I would love to
I'm
know.
going to just state right now, I will dig my heels in the sand that in my lifetime, no one will ever get me to watch Joker 2.
That's fair. That's fair. There's a chance I see it. I'd say a strong chance. Um, just like the Flash and the Barbie, if it has something relevant to me, aka this is DC somewhat, and I love the first Joker, so that way I'll see it. Barbie has Ryan Gosling, so that's relevant to me. I love him. I'll see it. Peak interested. I just respect in the worst way possible the person that decided, let's watch the first Joker and then let's make the second one to that movie. That movie, it's a musical with Lady Gaga. No disrespect to Lady Gaga, but just like, how do we go from point A to point B? Was it that weird dancing scene in the mirror in the bathroom? Is that what someone just thought? He's got the moves.
Is this the
He's
event?
got the moves.
Can we pinpoint the exact moment?
Yeah, but how do we go from he shot a TV host and anarchy breaks out to he's singing in the streets? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Don't get it.
Yeah, and the whole time I got to doubt that Lady Gaga's even real, So, because the first girl wasn't real.
In the movie, you mean? Okay. I thought you meant in real life. I was like,
yeah,
she is a person.
Yeah. So.
Well, I guess she's a stage name, so she's not a person.
True.
Lady Gaga is not. She's had a hell of a career, though. You know what I mean? Good for her.
Yeah.
She did a Super Bowl. She had banging music for a long time. And then she was like,
yeah, she was in that Gucci movie. House of.
Yeah, she did
Gucci.
that. She did that Star is Born with Bradley Cooper, where they
Yeah.
also had a weird sexual kind of like relationship, or people thought that they might have been in a relationship now, and
Yeah.
you had those rumors.
You know what I heard? You know what's crazy though? Out of all those movies, for like reasons for me not to see it, it never was because of her. Like especially House of Gucci, it was because I was told that Jared Leto's character in it is so awful that you can't possibly see that movie.
I think that's just Jared Leto's another person. Like if you cast Jared Leto, I'm not seeing anything he's related to. Like he is a cult leader. What are we doing?
He is. He is literally like.
Although I gotta say, Tom Cruise apparently is like a super weird guy.
Well, yeah, he is a cult leader as well. Well, the leading contributor to a cult.
Right.
But his movies are good and he can act.
He can't act. He's Tom Cruise in every movie. He just does crazy stunts. Let's not get crazy. Tom Cruise can't act for shit.
What? I'd say he can act.
Tom Cruise cannot act. Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise in every movie. What are we talking about? Ethan Hunt and fucking Jack Reacher are the same person.
But it's not like as to bad levels in terms of acting, like when we get to like The Rock, even Ryan Reynolds characters at times. Like
Ryan Reynolds is fucking. Good thing he's getting into business. He's just kind of an entrepreneur now. He's not really an actor anymore. Good for him because he never was a fucking actor.
So see what I mean? Like I'm not saying he's a great. I'm just saying I think he can act. Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'll go on record right now. I don't know what Scientology is. I know nothing about Scientology. People talk about Scientology as a bad thing, as a negative connotation. And if I'm in a group of people and someone's like, "Oh, Tom Cruise in Scientology," I'll be like, "I know, right?"
It's like, from what I can remember, it's like the worst parts of religion in terms of how everyone's worried that it's just taking your money, but it's to the extreme. Like they openly take your money
Yeah, but isn't
up
that
front.
what? Isn't that what? Is that not religion?
No, like it's not like even to like tides level where it's like, oh, you're giving 10%, and then like the whole point of it is that the church is supposed to be like, the church uses those funds just to support the building and be able to do things for like
Right.
community. No, like it's to the point where like it is almost like 50 to 90% of your income is going to this. That's why
Oh,
so many actors, like B-list actors, suffer so hard. Like the girl from King and Queens, like she was the one that escaped from Scientology, and she went on a big deal talking about how awful it was, how it was like mentally abusive to her, stole so much money from her, and also she got blacklisted from so many projects because she left them.
damn.
So it's like it's like a brainwashed Hollywood cult, but it's nowhere near like I would say scary levels of cult. It's just more of like
I was
rich
gonna say, are
people
they
finally
like
can be scared. You know what I mean? Like
right?
rich people
I
should be
was gonna
scared.
say, are they
Yeah.
doing stuff to
As far as I'm
people?
aware, sure, they probably
You know what I mean?
if they're taking that much money, they got power. Someone's the lead of it
I was gonna
has
say,
got
are
power.
children getting
Yeah.
touched? That's what I want to know.
I would say I mean from what she even said from like all the escapees, as far as I'm aware, nothing of that form gets talked
All
when
right,
it
that's
comes
not
to
that bad.
children.
It's not that bad. They're taking
But
money.
I think, don't remember, but most likely if they were doing that, you know, some women probably and some guys,
That's true. That is true.
something happened to them, you know?
There's always a few.
Probably
There's
is.
always a few.
Just we are too poor enough to give a shit. So
That's true.
it's gonna be
That is
honest.
true.
Yeah, way bigger things that are important to us. What were we even talking about? I don't even remember.
We're talking about Tom Cruise somehow. Talk
Why
about
were we
his
talking about
acting.
Tom Cruise?
Uh,
We
something
mentioned. Oh,
about.
we were talking about Joker, and then I said, "Oh
Oh yeah, we
no,
talked
Jared
about Jared
Leto."
Leto. Yeah, we were talking about
Yeah,
how much. Yeah, Jared
yeah.
Leto. Yeah.
Can I say something real quick? There
Yeah, go ahead.
is, you know how I love Blade Runner. It's 2049. Jared Leto's in
Yep.
that. That is
Never gonna
the
watch it.
only. That is the only movie that Jared Leto is good at acting because
He won
he's
an
playing
Oscar for something.
himself. He's playing himself. I
He
don't
won
care
an
what he's won
Oscar.
an Oscar for. He probably played some creep somewhere else or some like just let me act as a real human person, and even if it's not even that good, you get an Oscar. Who cares?
I think it was Dallas Buyers Club.
Don't care. All I know is that this movie was the only time his acting was good because he played a creepy villain.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he didn't have to act. They're just like, hey, Jared, just
Yeah,
like show up, and he's like, okay,
yeah.
cool.
He's a leader basically of like a cult empire,
Oh,
and
okay,
like
yeah. So
it's
they just
good. It's eerie. It's eerie, and it's good.
okay.
Like genuinely, I was like, as soon as I saw him, I was like, no way, you're about to ruin this experience for me because I was really vibing to the movie the first time, you know. Then I see him, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
And you're like,
And
right.
then I'm like, oh, did I just actually enjoy that performance? Yes, I did.
Because he didn't know he was giving a performance. They were just like,
Yeah,
hey, can you talk about your cult for a little bit?
yeah,
And he just went on a rant, and they happened to be filming.
yeah. And his scene was dealing with about a woman, a white woman. So, just saying, makes sense.
Someone should put a pen in that. Someone should look into it.
I mean, they already have looked at it. He literally has an island of white women that worship him.
He does. Yep.
Like the
Yep.
photo evidence of this. Like
Yep.
this is just known, and
Yep.
somehow that's okay. That's okay.
White robe and all.
Yes, like that's somehow okay. And that's why
Yeah.
what gets to us is he's not even good at acting. So it's like there's not even an excuse. Why?
Like, what are we
And why is he in so many
enthused
movies?
with? You know what I mean?
Why is he in so many movies?
For real, why is he? Why do we
Like,
care? Why do
yeah,
we care? You know,
like I realize like
Hollywood.
I'll be watching some like old movies that I'm like, oh, I've been told I need to watch this, and then he appears out of nowhere. He's just there.
I'm be
He has a
honest.
long
All right,
acting career.
the older the older crowd isn't ready for this, and they don't watch these, so who cares? Old movies, for the most part, completely suck. Okay, and
Yeah,
it's time to move off of them. You know what I mean? These so-called classics, not a classic. Don't care. We can move on.
I think you're definitely valid on some of those. Like the first Rocky
A
movie,
lot.
I mean, is one of the worst movies I've ever watched. Now Rocky Two is much better than it, but still, it's
Oh,
like,
I'm going bolder than that. I'm saying Back to the Future. We're done. We're done talking about Back to the Future. Um,
um,
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. We're done talking
never
about that.
watched that. Never watched that. No interest in it.
We're done. They need to be done. Back to the Future. When you zoom out, people, it's about a kid going back in time where his mom tries to bang him. He then like listens or watches like his their neighborhood friends, like who he knows as adult. That guy like tried to sexually assault his mom. And then I think he also like listens or watches his parents bang. Pretty sure some of that
Well,
matter
no, that was the
happens,
whole
and I'm like,
premise that he had to get it to happen
right, he
because
was
like
trying
he
to get
messed
them
things
to,
up.
right.
Because he messed things up.
So yeah, right. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay,
I mean, I would say
we're
for
done
those
with that.
movies, I mean, I watched them plenty of times, but I watched them when I was way younger, and I liked them when I was younger. So I think there's still a premise where those are still somewhat valid if I even watched it and liked it. So, you know,
And then like and then older people love to complain. They love to go on Facebook and complain, old whites, about like stuff today isn't like PG. And then it's like everything's inappropriate now. And it's like one of your guys' favorite movies was about a kid trying to get his parents to bang. What are
no,
we
not
talking
not even
about?
that. Actually, no. I want to mention something. There's a movie that has CP in it because I remember I was on
What movie?
TikTok on movie TikTok,
What movie is this?
right?
Is this
On
like a
movie
big one though?
TikTok, yes, because it's considered like a classic. That's it's
What is it?
really good. Something the baby or something like that, and like, and I don't remember. I remember I texted you the day I watched it, and it is the first movie.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because me and my girlfriend have a list of movies that like if we get recommended, we'll put it on there. And on movie TikTok, like it was a TikTok that had plenty of likes that said, "Oh, you got to watch this. This is a classic. It's like a heartfelt tale, blah blah blah, out of a woman's story, blah blah blah." It has a scene where a child, a child girl, is nude. We stopped it because I was getting bad vibes. So we didn't see anything. I was getting bad vibes, and I was like, "No way they're about to do this, right?" Because it wasn't like a cutaway was going to happen. I paused it and I looked at Amazon reviews, and there's parents on there saying, "Fuck you for having this on your platform. How has this movie not been blacklisted?" And it shows that if we would continue it, we would have saw it. A child, a child, and a grown man actor. Yeah, yeah. And the whole plot
yeah.
is
This was
that
what, like
of the
black
story.
and
The
white
whole plot of the
days?
story. No, it's like the 1970s or 80s.
Oh shit.
This movie came out, and
Oh,
the whole plot of the movie was that it's like this poor family is living kind of like in a brothel. It's more like a saloon slash brothelish. And there's a daughter there. And so she's kind of like looking, seeing how her, mom is doing things. And then there's this guy, this photographer or whatnot. He's like, "Oh, I have a camera. This is what a camera is. Can I take pictures of you beautiful ladies?" And then like the little girl falls in love with him, has a crush on him, and then she's like, "Oh, I see what mom does," and then like she tries to do it for him, and that's the scene that I stopped it at because I was like, "No way, this is about to happen," and then it does. I looked at the reviews; it fully does, and then they get married, and that's the rest of the movie. Like it's yeah, yeah. So I don't care what the story is about of the fact of how these things did happen back in the day of children just getting married to grown men like that. I get it.
Yeah.
but you literally showed it. You videoed that. And then like the actress later on, she has another controversial scene or whatnot. I don't remember what, but she was like, "Oh, I'm all real proud of the fact I did that." It's like, shut the fuck up. You're a victim. You are a victim. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, any older person who tries to complain about like today's content is like inappropriate or
Hmm.
like swearing or whatever,
It
it's
was
like
way worse. It was
your
way
guys'
worse.
stuff was terrible. Okay?
Yeah,
And you're just too young to understand it and you won't
yeah,
admit it now.
yeah. Bad, not even just bad, just straight up. If you want to complain about how stuff is like not PG or PG, you're PG most of the times. We're borderline rated R for now.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, there's plenty
100%.
of sex scenes. All your horror movies was basically porn. All your slashers was
No,
that.
it is like stuff in
So
like the
shut the fuck
80s
up.
and 90s that are like PG are at
Yeah,
least PG-13 minimum now, and some are
yeah.
borderline like even Indiana Jones. Like some clips I remember from those, I'm like, this was a family movie we called it. I was like, there's some
Mm-hmm.
scenes in that. And I'm like, bro, what? What are we doing?
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you.
And then somehow
I've
it's
always
like
felt that way.
content today. Content today, they're like, it's just inappropriate stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
or like music is a big one, you know? They go into music, and I'm like, yo, Welcome to the Jungle, one of like the biggest like anthems for people for that age. Like, dude literally just starts
Mm-hmm.
moaning halfway through that song.
Mm-hmm.
And he definitely talks
As
about how
if
she's
not,
underage.
as if not all rock music was literally anti-society,
Yeah.
anti-government back in the day. That's literally all rock and heavy metal. But you know, black man
Also,
rap.
ABBA, whatever it's called, Dancing Queen. You were the Dancing Queen, only 17.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Also,
17.
the young casting. Mm-hmm. Yes,
17.
grown men casting. I mean, even that '70s show. What's her name? Was literally not
Mila
even.
Kunis was like 14,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we can't listen. We can't go too much because not everybody should be, as it rightfully should be, throwing euphoria in the face of people. Like, hey, this is
Oh
being
yeah.
made today.
That's also valid. That's true. And we criticize
These,
that as well.
yeah. We're
Stop
gonna end on
fantasizing
this.
high school.
We're gonna end on this. Stop fantasizing high schoolers, and stop putting.
Yeah.
High school kids are already very much in a insecure time in their lives, with
Mm-hmm.
puberty and just other stuff going on in life. We
Exactly.
don't need to put out Euphoria, which is promoting
Mm-hmm.
these 27, 28-year-old grown adults in grown
Mm-hmm.
bodies being high schoolers. We don't need these kids looking at them being like, oh,
Yes.
I should look like that. It's like, no, you
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Or
That
one
person's a
actress literally
decade
has
older than you.
her titties out like every nonstop.
Right.
Like it's
Like that.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, and then you add in like, oh,
Yeah.
high school isn't,
For real.
is it, that's not how it should be. Like, what are we
Yeah.
doing?
There's
Stop
ways to
making
do
that
it.
stuff.
13 Reasons Why. It did it.
That was a realistic, like those actors all were
To
realistic
talk
looking
about
for the most part.
topics like what Euphoria is trying to do. That it did that. Like, but there's college. College is this. You can make a college version of Euphoria, and then sure, that's not for us, but like at least it doesn't have that creepy element.
And it doesn't damage those kids as much. You don't see these kids
Yeah.
trying to compare themselves like, oh, look at Sydney
Yeah.
Sweeney. She's a high schooler in the show. It's like, no, she's not. She's like a 30-year-old grown
Yeah.
woman. Don't compare
Yeah.
yourself.
Especially since Disney doesn't even have Disney show anymore. It's on just Disney Plus. But like,
Right. It's just,
yeah,
just
not
let's
the
just
same as it
stop
was
doing
for
that.
us. Yeah,
Just stop doing it.
for
It's
real.
weird.
Stop.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, we're gonna end on also with Euphoria. I just want to mention this. Zendaya. Kind of weird how this show she has like a huge hand in creating, and she has like a whole clause about she will never go nude. Yet
Mm-hmm.
they were
So many
just
others
making
have to.
everybody else be nude in that show and bang, and it's like
Well, also they
they're like the same
recently,
age. Like, what are you doing?
I think they recently had a director or writer get into issues about him being a creep
Shocker.
on set,
Shocker.
and then everyone was like, shocker, because made Sydney Sweeney like constantly nude in every scene she was in.
Shout out Jonah Hill for saving Kanye West. It's gonna end this
For real.
video. Like it. Go watch 21 Jump Street. Subscribe to the channel.
Only
Comment
Hitler's
down
seen
below.
that.
If you made it this far, what are you doing? This show stinks. If you made it this far, you have to subscribe at this point. If you're not, we suck. This is a terrible show. See you in the next one.